There's been some hubbub on X about an account called Black Insurrectionist, who claims to have written statements from an alleged victim of grooming from Tim Walz. Someone in our Instagram community, it's called Story Seekers. It's free to join and it's really great. I get to message back and forth with you guys. But someone in the Instagram community asked if I could give my thoughts on this. So this individual named Black Insurrectionist, that's his name on X, claimed that he had written statements from a victim of grooming from Tim Walz. He was given a statement, he claims, from the victim to release this morning. This was yesterday morning. And he said, the victim has never told me of his intent to bring Tim Walz to court. I assume this means trying to seek legal recourse, if possible, in a criminal court. And people are now wondering, oh my gosh, is this true? Is this whatever? And so here it says, it just is titled Statement. And it reads, I have decided to make a public statement regarding the relationship between myself and Tim Walz. I also want to make it very clear that I was not the only victim of Tim Walz. I am hoping the others will come forward. I know of at least one other person who has come forward and has not received the publicity that I am now receiving. I want to give you some of the places that I went with Tim Walz over the course of the time I was abused and give you some descriptive information of Tim Walz's body that may be helpful in my claim. It goes on to say that Tim Walz has a raised scar on his chest, a Chinese symbol tattoo on his upper thigh. I also remember the small scar on his left arm that was more than a soft burn. And it's just a whole kind of information tell-all about how between the ages of 14 and 18, Tim Walz was part of an unhealthy relationship with this now adult. And this, I believe, happened in 1995 to 1998 or 9. That's when this was all alleged. And now it's coming forward right now. And in that tweet, Black Insurrectionist goes on to say that there are more documents with more information that he's yet to put out for us, but Tim Walz has, falsified his resume, he's falsified documents and stories that he's told the media. Him and his wife have lied about their use of IVF and how they conceived their child, blah, 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 blah. And here are my thoughts. There very well could be a person out there that was harmed by Tim Walz. I cannot tell you whether that's true or not. I don't have any of that information in front of me. But what I can tell you is that I don't trust this person, this Black Insurrectionist person, DocNet YouTube. I don't trust this person at all. There are people out there who will capitalize off of our mutual distrust and fear of the government and mainstream media. And instead of actually proving themselves to be truth tellers, they point to inaccurate media empires and say, well, they aren't telling you the truth, so come here, listen to me, without actually providing an explanation as to why they are truth tellers worthy of our attention. And I am very anti-credentialing as an individual. I truly hate the idea of belittling citizen journalists. They are the backbone of so much of what we have uncovered in this profession. And I don't like this notion of questioning this individual solely because they are a citizen journalist. Because there are plenty of situations in which somebody with a big story would go to a smaller independent reporter. To negate that, I think, is very elitist and very rude. There is absolutely a world in which a person would trust an independent citizen journalism like Black Insurrectionist with a big story like this. I don't negate that. But one of my former colleagues put together a really good breakdown of why this individual with this story is probably not to be trusted. This post is from my colleague, Philip. We worked together over at the Daily Caller. He was kind of at the foundation side when I was at the for-profit side, so we didn't interact all that much, but I saw his response to Black Insurrectionist post, and it just caught my attention. I figured it was so worth sharing with you guys because I was like, oh, yes, retweet, literally. He says, as a writer, I'm always looking at not only what is being written, but how it is being delivered. We all have our own idiosyncrasies in how we write. There are curious similarities between Black Insurrectionist and the accuser's written letter. Here are some examples. Both, including the poster, this is Black Insurrectionist, the journalist, if you'll call him that, and the accuser, they both capitalize the same words, and they'll they'll kind of use capitalized random words such as Harris Walz campaign with no or with no slash in between Harris Walz. They'll say something like school board in uppercase letters, even though that's not technically the proper noun unless you're calling it, Washington State School Board, then you would capitalize it. There are a lot of idiosyncrasies that match both. Both also frequently employ strong repetitions in their sentence structure. I recorded the email, recorded the submission. Gmail was not used, Yahoo Mail was used, Proton Mail was used, Rocket Mail was used. You can see what I wrote, you can see the submission, but most importantly, you can see that I put the Vice President of the United States on notice. So it's just kind of like this repetitive way in which Black insurrectionists and the alleged accuser speak. Then compare that to the accuser. The accuser says, he was telling me that it was natural. He was telling me that it was okay. I thought I was having a great time. I thought I was beginning to think I was gay. Many people will attack my claims. Many will doubt my claims. It's the repetitive nature. I have my own idiosyncrasies too. You guys, you listen to me for long enough and you'll hear me say kind of the same isms over and over and over again because I'm human. This is a very human thing to do. But while there are exceptions to this, both the alleged journalist and the alleged victim seem to use the same words, same isms, all of that. One other side note that Philip made was that both the Black insurrectionist and the alleged victim used the full name Tim Walz to reference Tim Walz, which you might think is not, how do I put this? Not suspect at all. But at the same time, if you had a relationship with somebody like Tim Walz, wouldn't you refer to him as maybe Mr. Walz or the governor or Tim because you knew him for years and years and years, or Walz or just anything else? They just seem to use the same formulation in all of their words. And the poster also uses the same format in terms of month of year format. So if Black insurrectionist says March of 1996 instead of March 1996 or 1996 or just March or March of 96, the accuser also seems to say September of 1995. And this goes on and on and on. And Philip, one of the reasons why I also pulled his post because I thought it was really good is that he doesn't necessarily call the poster a liar, but these linguistic similarities coupled with what appears to be mouse cursors on the screen of the emails and other oddities had him wondering if this was legit or not. And if it is, of course, we'll be happy to give credit and say that we're off base. But I wanted to pull this up because look at the weird way in which the emails were typed, almost as if this was typed into a Google document and not actually a email in and of itself. And of course, if you're in the listening audience, the email, it just doesn't add up in terms of what would visually be on an email address. So I would really encourage you guys to come over to the YouTube channel, Rumble channel, X, Facebook, wherever you would want to watch, and just come check out some of these pictures because it's interesting. But please let me know in the comments whether you believe this Black insurrectionist account or not. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked what you heard, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment about how beautiful, stunning, and funny I am. And if you want more content based in logic, be sure to click over here for more videos and clips of my show. If you have the means to financially support the show, consider purchasing from my merch line, Based Apparel, linked right below. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you back here next time. Bye, friends.